This conference will now be recorded.
So last class we have seen how to monitor the users, how to modify the group, how to modify the users, monitor the users, all this stuff. Creation of disk quotas. Creation of disk quotas. So what do you mean by quota? Quota is nothing but allocating space to the user home directory. Allocating space to the user home directory. In AWS we discussed that when we create the S3 bucket, not S3, when we create the EBS volume, the maximum size of EBS volume is 16 terabyte. In Linux also, when we create the file system, the maximum file system size we can create up to 16 terabyte. So what's the problem here? When you are creating the users, where the home directories are going to create, the home directories are going to create under slash home. What is slash home? Slash home is the file system. Slash home is the file system. Slash dev slash sds7 is mounted on slash home. Slash home is not a directory. Slash home is a file system. Whenever we create the users, the home directories are going to create under SDS7, not under directory, under file system SDS7. I can create this file system up to 16 terabyte maximum size. And all the user home directories are creating under home. The user can use 1 TB, 2 TB, 4 TB, 5 TB, up to 16 terabytes. There is no limit for the user. I can create a file with 1 terabyte. If I am a user, if I log into my home directory, I can create a file with 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. I can misuse the hard disk storage. You know that whenever we create the account in the gmail.com, in Gmail, they are going to give 15 GB per user. For every user, Gmail they are going to allocate 15 GB. That is called nothing but quota. The user cannot use more than 15 GB storage. Does it mean that your file system is only 15 GB? It is more than terabytes, petabytes. It is more than terabytes, petabytes. But the user cannot use more than 15 GB storage. That is called creating a quota for user. If I create the account with Yahoo, they are giving 1 TB per user. Yahoo they are giving 1 TB per user. Gmail 15 GB. That is called creating the disk quotas. So we have to restrict the user. They should not use more than 15 GB if it is gmail.com. or yahoo.com mounting. That is possible by creation of disk quotas. So quotas can be created on individual users. Quotas can be created for group of users. Quotas can be created entire group. Quotas can also be created entire files. We can create the disk quotas for individual users. We can create the disk quotas for group of users, entire group, and entire files. We'll discuss one by one. Before we start creating creating quotas, first we have to create the file system mount on /home. So we discussed already how to create the file system, how to mount on /home. We already discussed, right? So first create the file system mount on /home. So here /dev/hds7 we mounted on /home, right? 1 hour, 1 hour. So create a file system mount on /home. Now create a users. The command is user add username. Username is student. Create a user called user add username student. So where the home data is going to create under /home. User add Steve. User add. So create the users and create the password for user. Password user. Create a users and passwords. So create the file system. Create the file system. Format the file system. Update the kernel with podproc command. Update fstop file if you want permanent mounting. Update fstop file. Right? After that, you can see df-h. Then create the users with user add command. Then create the passwords. You can see step by step. Create the file system with this command. You know how to get the file system. Then run the command podproc/do/sda. What is podproc? Update the kernel. Check the partitions file. Format the file system with mkfs command. Then mount the file system with user quota, group quota. USR quota stands user quota, GRP quota stands group quota. Generally, when you create the file system for temporary mounting, only for temporary mounting, you have to mount the file system with quota enabled. mount the file system with quota enabled manually. For real time, we never mount the file system for temporary, always permanent mounting. Then update fstop file, run /do/sda7 /com file system type est2 and defaults. After defaults, write usr quota and grp quota. When we are updating fstop file, we don't need to mount the file system manually. It is only for temporary. Directly update fstop file without mounting file system manually. Directly update fstop file. Then emount-a, unmount all, mount-a, mount all. What is mount-a? First fstop file, mount the file system with quota enable. Then start creating a user. User add username, create 3 users, create the password for user, then quota check -cug/com. Quota check to create the quotas, -c for create, U for user quota, G for group quota, file system name /home. To scan the files and directories under file system /home, quota check -avug. A for all, B for verbose mode, U for user quota, and G for group quota. What this command does, it is going to scan all the files and directories under file system /home. Now run the command ed quota username. Ed quota stands edit quota. Ed quota stands edit quota. Username is student. Username is student. You can see the line here. File system /home. This line is default. File system /home. Soft default is 0. Hard default is 0. Inodes default is 8. Soft limit 0 default. Hard limit 0 default. This is the default line. If you run the command ed quota username, ed quota stands edit quota for user student. Edit quota for user student. This is the default line. Number of blocks 64. The meaning of 64, these many blocks the user already using. These many blocks the user already using. I just create a user add username. How is saying that these blocks already used without creation of any files? Why it is showing that 64 blocks already used? We discussed earlier, when we create a user, some files by default create. Some files by default create. Those are called user profiles. What are those? When you type ls-a, we'll see that .bash underscore profile, .bash underscore logout, .bash underscore history, .bash file. These are called user profiles or user environment files. So these files by default create in every user home directory. That these files are using 64 blocks. These files are using 64 blocks. That's why default is 64 blocks. It is not 64 like you can say sometimes 32 or 54 something. The meaning of that, these blocks are already used. What is block size? One block is 512 bytes. One block is 512 bytes. Two block means 1 KB. Two blocks means 1 KB. So 64 blocks already used. Soft and hard. Soft is nothing but minimum number of blocks. Soft is nothing but minimum number of blocks. Minimum number of blocks. This is for warning message. Default is 0. 0 means what? No warning message. Hard is maximum number of blocks. Maximum number of blocks for quota expire. Maximum number of blocks for quota expire. Because default is 0, 0. No minimum number of blocks. No maximum number of blocks. He can use any amount of blocks. The user can use any amount of disk space. No limit. 0 means what? No limit. He can create a file with 1 GB, 2 GB, 10 GB, 1 TB. No limit because of 0. inodes default is 8, meaning of that this many inodes already created under user home directory. Number of inodes nothing but number of files. Each file create one inode number. For each file create one inode number. The number of inodes nothing but number of files. So 8 files already created. Soft is 0, hard is 0, meaning of that the user can create any number of files, no limit. 100, 200, 1000, 2000, 5000, no limit. Hard limit. Soft limit for warning message, hard limit for quota expire. So this is the default line like this. The meaning of that no quota has been created for this user. Now you have to get the quota. Soft limit for example 80. When user reached soft limit 80 blocks, that gives the warning message. Soft limit for warning, but able to create up to 100 blocks. That is called maximum. Hard limit always more than soft limit. Soft limit for warning message, hard limit for quota expire. Once the user is soft limit number of blocks, 80 blocks, that gives warning message. Ignoring the warning messages, once he reaches 100 blocks, the quota will be expired. That gives the error this quota is full. Or that gives the error cannot create the file because of you reached the quota. Like here also number of inodes, soft limit and hard limit. For example, 15 files that is soft limit for warning message, hard limit 20 files. Once the user reaches 15 files that gives warning message, ignoring warning messages, he can get up to 20 files. Hard limit for quota expire. I know nothing but a file, how to get the file, touch file name, touch is the command to get the file. But when I get the file with touch command create a file with 0 bytes. Touch command create the file with 0 bytes. Here it shows that how much MB or GB user can use. Here how many files the user can create. Either number of inodes or number of blocks, whichever comes first. Either blocks or inodes, whichever comes first, the quota will be expired. Whichever comes first, quota will be expired. For example, when you purchase 4-wheelers, 2-wheelers, they'll give the free service coupons. The free service coupons are number of days and number of kilometers both. Number of days and kilometers both. Whichever comes first, coupon will be expired. Like here also, either blocks or inodes. Whichever comes first, the quota will be expired. Check the quota for the user student. Then to enable or turn on the disk quotas, run the command quota on -v file system/home to turn on the disk quotas. To check the disk quotas for user student, quota -v username. V stands verbose. To see the disk quotas for user student, what is minimum, what is maximum, all the details. This is for creating quotas for individual users. ED quota username. Instead of creating quotas for individual users, we can copy the disk quotas for user student to the remaining users, like Steve and Dave. Create quotas for one user, for example, student. These quotas I can copy to the remaining users. That is called creating quota for more than one user at a time. How? ED quota, edit quota, -p stands profile. Already we create the account quota for student. Already we create the quota for user student. This profile we have copied to the Steve and Dave. First create a quota for one user. The profile we can copy to the remaining users. This is called creating quotas for more than one user at a time. To see the quota report for all users. This is the command to see the quota report for individual users. For all users, ref quota -v file system slash home, right? How do you check their quotas working or not? Log in as a user, control alt F, if it is putting, open the new session, log in as user student, create the files. Touch command to get the file. How many files user can create? Up to hard limit. What is my hard limit? 20 files. We can get up to 20 files. Once we reach hard limit, it won't allow you to create the file. But touch command create the file with 0 bytes, empty files. I didn't use any space. I did not use any space. I just get empty files. As I told you that whichever comes first, either in blocks or in inodes, whichever comes first, the quota will be expired. To create the disk quotas for entire group, for example, DB is my group name. You know how to create the group. There's no group created DBA. Create the group first, group add group name, then ed quota, edit quota, -g, name of the group DB. Under DBA group, we have 500 or more than 500 users. We can create the quota for all users under DBA group at a time. So run the command. This is for entire group. You want to get the quota for entire file system, ed quota -t, -t for entire file system. This is the default line. What is saying that block grace period 7 days, inode grace period 7 days. Whatever quota has been created for users, the quota should be used within the 7 days in blocks or inodes. If not, the quota will be expired. If you have anyone having the account with Rediff mail, every user Rediff mail, they should log in at least once within 30 days. If the account is not being used for 30 days, all the mails from the mailbox delete automatically. Again, they are giving 15 days grace period. If any account is not being used for 45 days, the whole account delete from the mail server. That is called entire file system. So whenever we get the account in Gmail, by default, they're going to allocate 15 GB per user, whether you may use or not. Most of the cases, sometimes we are going to create user only for temporary purpose. For example, go to meeting for every 15 days, the meeting automatically expired. Again, we have to create the new Gmail account for new meeting. So that Gmail account only for go to meeting, we are not using for that. But by default, when you create the account, 15 GB is by default allocated. So the advantage of creating quota for entire file system, if any account is not being used for 7 days, you can write 30 days or 45 days, whatever you want. If any account is not used for 30 days, for example, the account automatically, the quota automatically expired. This is what entire file system. To turn off the disk quotas, quota off -v slash home. To turn off the disk quotas. Let's see this. Right. So first, create the file system, mount on slash home. I think we already created fdisk-l. Oh, so this created with default, not the custom. So run df-h. Already we have file system HDS6 mounted on slash home. mounted on slash com. What type of file system? grep blk hd6 est2 file system. Now create the users. Do you have any users form writers here? No. User add, username, where the form writers are by default create under slash. Now run the command quota check -cug/com, C for create, U for user quota, G for group quota. What is the error? Mount point home not found. Update fstop file. It's already mounted, right? Update fstop file. So we are creating the quotas on slash com. So write comma, sorry, after defaults. After defaults, comma, ESR quota stands user quota, comma, GRP quota, group quota. The file system where we are implementing the disk quotas in fstop file after defaults, write ESR quota and GRP quota. So unmount -e, unmount all first, then mount -e. It mount the file system with quota enabled. Mount -a, mount the file system with quota enabled. Now grep /com/etc/mtab. You can see /com is mounted with quota enabled, ESR quota and GRP quota. Now run the command quota check -cug/com. Then quota check -avug, A for all, B for verbose, U for user quota, G for group quota. It will scan the files and directories under slash 15 directories and 15 files. ED quota, username is student. Creating quota for individual user. You see 28 blocks already used, 7 files already created. Soft limit 0, hard limit 0. Set the soft limit, hard limit in blocks and items. 80 as you wish. inode 7, 7 files already using. Soft limit 50, hard limit 20. Save the. Now quota on, turn on the git disk quotas, quota on, file system slash quota on. You can use -v verbose mode. Quota on -v verbose mode, file system slash. To see the quota for individual user, quota -v username student. We can see the quota for user student, quota -v username. Whatever quota is created for user student, we want to copy this quota for remaining users. ed quota -p stand profile, the profile of user student, copy to Steve and Dave. Now run the command ref quota stands record quota -v file system slash ref quota stands record quota. Okay. So I just create a user quota for user student by using IP profile are copied to the remaining users. This is creation of quotas for group of users. Create a group at DBA is already there. No. ED quota -G group name DBA. This is for entire group. Set the soft limit, hard limit in number of blocks and soft limit, hard limit for number of inodes. It is for the users who are under DBA group, entire group. ED quota T for entire file system. Default block grace period 7 days, inode grace period 7 days. Now check the quotas working or not. Log in as the user student. Create the files. I am trying to create 20 files. This quota is exceeded because we reached the hard limit. Generally, in the real time, a programmer, a developer, or end user trying to create the files in their home directories. They're trying to create the files in their home directories. Sometimes they'll give the error. For example, touch something. This quota is exceeded. So then ask the system admin, I'm not able to create the file. I'm getting this error. This quota exceeded. What is Linux admin job? As a root user, you have to increase the quota limit. Increase the quota limit for this particular user. How to increase the quota limit? Ed quota username. Run the command ed quota username. Before we increase the quota limit, first of all, I have to know that whether this particular user reached number of blocks or number of inodes. I have to check it. How do we check? Ed quota -v username. Sorry. Quota -v username. You see, number of files 20 star, meaning what? We reach number of files, but still blocks to use. The user create the files with the touch command. Touch command create the file empty files. I didn't use any blocks. Touch command create a file with 0 bytes, empty files. I reach number of files, but not number of blocks. Blocks are still used. Still left. Blocks are still left. Only reach number of files. So run the command ed quota, increase the number of inodes. Increase the number of inodes, hard limit. Number of inodes, hard limit. But do not increase the quota unnecessarily. Wastage of storage. Before we increase the quota per user, check the unwanted data. Check the unwanted data under user home directory. Check the unwanted data under user home directory. How do we check it? Log into the user. Log into the user. ls or ls-s. We can see the files, empty files. Do not allow the user to create empty files. Do not allow the user to create empty files. They feel that they're creating empty files, but for every file by default, it is going to allocate 4 KB. For every file, but internally in the kernel, for every file, it is going to allocate 4 KB per user. So don't allow the user to create empty files. What you have to do is log into that user, remove the empty files. Unnecessarily do not increase the quota limit, wastage of storage. No empty files are there, coordinate with the user, whatever data which is not important for the user, take the data backup. take the data backup, the data which is not important for the user, take the data backup, remove the unwanted data. For example, you have account Gmail, you are not getting any mails. Why? Why? Because a mailbox is full. So what is the solution for that? You have to purchase storage that is called premium or remove the unwanted mails. So why should you go for premium? Why should I purchase? We can remove the unwanted data, unwanted mails. Likewise, here also as a Linux admin, before we increase the quota, check the unwanted data, coordinate with the user which data is not important, take the data backup, remove the data. Unnecessarily do not increase, unnecessarily do not increase the quota. Right? So this is about creating the quotas for use. Any questions, guys? So we are done user administration part. Tomorrow we'll start new topic that is run levels. AWS class I'll take on Saturday, Sunday. Two topics left. Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours, 2 hours. Okay. See you tomorrow. Same time.